Hi everyone, thank you for joining us for today's wellness session. I'm going to be sharing some strategies for anxiety reduction today. Let's talk about how mindfulness can help reduce anxiety. Mindfulness is about doing one thing at a time and giving it your full attention while you're doing it. Anxiety tends to creep in when our thoughts wander from the present. Practicing mindfulness can really help you become aware of when your thoughts wander so that you can bring yourself back to the present. In session 1 of Wellness Tips with Lorie, I provide a great introduction to mindfulness. And then in session 2 and 3, I provide examples of exercises that you can do to actually practice mindfulness. And by learning how to tune into your body the way that mindfulness teaches us, you're able to become aware of when your thoughts and feelings get to a point where maybe you need to use some of the strategies that we're going to talk about later in this session. The next strategy is to bring awareness to the anxiety in your body. We often first experience anxiety in our body. This can be in the form of an ache or pain, muscle tension, pounding heart. It could even be butterflies in your stomach. The best way to get in tune with what's going on in your body is to do a body scan exercise. And I actually shared more information on body scan and how to do a body scan in session 8 of our calming strategies series in Wellness Tips with Lorie. And I encourage you to reference that video if you would like to give body scan a try. Another important tool is identifying triggers. So you want to take some time to recognize and become aware of situations in which your anxiety is triggered. And if you're practicing mindfulness, this should be a much easier task as you are becoming aware of your thoughts and your feelings in the moment, regardless of which situation you're in. Some common triggering situations are social interactions, public speaking, health. Some individuals become very consumed and worry excessively about not only their health but the health of loved ones and others, or also specific phobias. So that could be like fear of spiders or some other kind of animal, or fear of being in small spaces. Any kind of specific phobia, that is also a trigger. It's important to recognize and become aware of your triggers so that you'll know when to pull out your toolkit and use your calming strategies so that you're able to get through it. Deep breathing is an excellent strategy for reducing anxiety. It also prevents your body from initiating the fight or flight response. I discussed several breathing exercises in session 7 of Wellness Tips with Lorie. I encourage you to go back and try some of those exercises if you haven't already. One strategy utilized when treating anxiety is exposure therapy. So in exposure therapy, you expose yourself to situations in which you know anxiety is triggered. So this is another reason why it's important to take some time to really identify those situations in which your anxiety is triggered. In earlier Wellness Tips with Lorie session, in session 11, we talked about mental rehearsal. So that's also a good way to mentally prepare yourself for a situation in which you are going to be exposed to a situation that triggers anxiety for you. The next strategy is to put your worries into words. So as soon as you have a worry festering up inside of you, take some time to write it down. And then consider the facts. And remember, really bad things don't happen often. Even if something bad does happen, you can get through it. So now that you've pinpointed your worry, you're able to take some time to challenge it and create a plan. The next strategy is to challenge your worries. So you've already identified your worry and written it down. Now you need to challenge it. It's important to remember that sometimes worries lie, so you might have to talk back to them. In session 4 of Wellness Tips with Lorie, I talked about how to catch, challenge, and change thoughts. So I would encourage you to go back and watch that one. And also practicing positive thinking avoids or helps you avoid freaking yourself out about something coming up, or a situation where you may be coming into that you've identified as an anxiety trigger. And I did a session on positive affirmations, session 12 in the Calming Strategies series, and that will help you work on your positive thinking as well. The next strategy is to schedule a worry time. So the more you tend to something, the more it grows. So the rule with the worry time is once you've set that specific time of the day, you can only worry during that time. So when you catch yourself trying to worry, or you have a little worry festering up inside of you before it's worry time, you have to tell it to wait until it's worry time, and then you can think about it then, just in that short little worry window. And you can also, another strategy is to create a little worry box where you write down a worry if it starts to come to you, and you just throw it in your little worry box, so you know that if ever it does become worry time, you can just pull it out of your worry box, so you won't forget what you were supposed to be worrying about during worry time. And the last strategy I'm going to share is just self-care. So practice in some kind of self-care, whether it's doing something fun. Make sure you eat and exercise and sleep. And then also just practice some of those calming strategies, even whenever you're not experiencing some kind of anxiety or other negative feeling. We did a whole calming series, or whole series on calming strategies. That's session 6 through session 13 on wellness tips with Lorie. I encourage you to watch those and practice some of the exercises that I shared. Thank you for joining today's session, and I hope you'll stay tuned for our upcoming sessions.